Alright, y'all, it's a cool, crisp 58 degrees on Saturday morning. We got a long weekend this weekend. We're gonna spend in the woods and getting deer stands and shooting lanes, and we decided to go ahead this morning and get our muzzleloader shot. That way we won't have to worry about it. Last year I upgraded and got a new muzzleloader, and I give my dad my old one because I wanted him to get into muzzleloading. Show y'all what So this year I'm shooting the new CVA Optima, and he'll be shooting my old CV Optima Pro. This gun's killed every deer it's been shot at. I'm hoping this one will do the same. I sighted these guns in last year at 50 yards. I didn't have time to really dial them in. I just got through shooting this one at 100, and my up and down, it was perfectly level. It was 3.5 inches to the right. So all I did was bring it to the left 3.5 inches, and I'm gonna leave it there. There's really no point in doing another shot. That's just a waste of bullets if you don't know how to shoot. This year for my gun, I went to these Power Belt 50 caliber 295 grains. Dad's gun, probably gonna stick to the same 200 grain Thompson Center Sabatids. They're a little harder to load. You know, they hit pretty good. I mean, like I said, I found every deer I've shot with them through that gun. The reason I went to these is because these seem to have a little more knockdown power, and they always seem to have a little bit more of a blood trail. Shooting tire decks, 50-50, powder pellets. I normally only shoot Winchesters, 777s. This year they didn't have Winchesters, so I ended up getting a box of Ferals as a backup. That way we'll have 2 boxes of them. My deer hunting rifles through my 30-06s, they're all Winchester and Federals only, so you can't go wrong either way. Now, as far as target practice and sighting in, I don't do anything fancy. I do exactly what I'm going to do in my deer stand setup as if I'm shooting a deer. I got my target down there where my feed pile is, 100 yards even. I got a Kuyu backpack with a little homemade pillow pad in there to rest that gun on. I mean, it just sits there perfect. You know, during the rut, I'll either load my gun across my lap, or I'll leave it up in the window just like this. Something I like to do as far as breathing techniques and shooting techniques, you can go online. There's a sniper on YouTube. I think he's a Russian sniper. He's got some awesome shooting techniques, and man, it's really helped my accuracy as far as practice. But so where a lot of people make mistakes, you know, they'll put that finger completely in there. Well, that makes you have completely more trigger pull, and it tend to pull to the right. You just barely want to put that finger up on that trigger. Breathe. The way I breathe is breathe through my nose and out my mouth. Through my nose and out my mouth, and then pull the trigger. All right, his gun's been loaded since deer season last year. Man, it shot pretty far to the right and pretty high. So I'm gonna go ahead and move it over to the bullseye, and then I am gonna go ahead and do a follow-up shot, just because I know now it's gonna be shooting with fresh powder and a fresh bullet. Target set up, I like to buy these little reverser targets just because they got the outline of the deer. And not only do I use that, but I like to use these birchwood cases. Man, you can see that bullet shines bright. Now, if I wasn't shooting this video and I was shooting my 30-06, I would just move my crosshairs to this bullet and it would be dead on. But since we shooting that muzzleloader with old powder and old bullet from last year and shooting this video, I just wanted to walk down here and do it. All right, we got the hole covered up. I'm gonna bring it 6.5 inches over to the left and 5 inches down. Now, something I love as a muzzleloader hunter are these quick little, reload deals right here. Man, these things are perfect. I keep my powder on one side and then a bullet and an extra primer on the other end. You can't beat them. Another little quick tip I give you, if you're using these bullets here with these sabots, they're going to be a lot harder to load. So you're going to have one of these bullet starters to get them loaded pretty good. Only reason I shoot them through his gun is because they don't kick near as hard. They're not as hard on your shoulder as them 295 grains. I wished I'd brought my camera phone tripod so I could show y'all the difference in how easier them power belts are to load. But something else I want to show you, always mark your ramrod. That way you know when your gun's loaded, fully loaded at that mark. Said I shot these guns last year, sighted them in at 50 yards, so they wasn't shot at 100 yards, so it's making this a little more difficult. But even at that, ours first shot on ours was here at 100 yards, so I just moved it straight to the left. I mean, that's gonna be dead on. His first shot was here, and then we brought it over and it ended up here. So now we're gonna bring it back to here. All right, there's our third shot. I wish I wouldn't have done it, but I changed up my shooting form, and I think it allowed that barrel to pop up when I made that shot. So if I wouldn't done that, I got a feeling that bullet would be about right here. But just in case, I'm gonna go ahead and bring it down. An inch and a half, maybe, just in case it didn't pop up. But I got a feeling it did because I felt it whenever I made the shot. And we're gonna leave it right there. And them guns are ready. It didn't take but one shot with mine to get it on. It took me 3 with his. That's a few more than I would have liked, but shooting that first round of last year's pellets, makes it a little more dirty. And plus these guns were only shot at 50 yards last year, so I mean, it is what it is. But they're ready. We're gonna see what we can get this season.